What it do, world? It's your boy Mo Better from Mo Better Publishing Productions LLC. The connection with the entertainment company. I deserve a deal in connection also with Collective Minds LLC. And what I'm going to talk to you about today is I'm going to blast this out and put this on YouTube and everywhere for it to be seen, because this is like ridiculous. It's like you pretend to be sovereign citizens, sovereign people. Hey, I'm sorry, Jeff. You pretend to be Moors. And I'm not talking about those who are real, because their sovereignty is real. I'm not talking about Moors, because their Moors are real. This is a real demonstration. The paperwork, the process, the contracts, the whole nine is real. All the way taken to the Secretary of State, Queen of England, to Egypt, Morocco. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, your nationality is that you choose, it is real. But at the same time, we are actually becoming, not we, some of you are actually teaching your followers, or those who listen to you, to become what you actually tell them they should hate. You tell them that they should hate the government. You tell them that, the government is abusing power. You tell them that, you teach hate. And the thing is, when you teach hate without a balance, when you teach hate without an understanding of what's actually taking place, if I find out something happened to one of my children, and I find you tell me who did it, and you tell me that this person has been doing this to children for a period of time and nothing has been done with it, what am I going to do? I'm going to hate this person. Same situation like with us on a cultural basis, to where the demonstration is where we can teach the hate of a people. We teach the hate of the white man. A lot of people teach that. I hate them. They enslaved us. They killed us. They raped our women, our children. They did this. They sent our babies off. If you don't teach the balance of that, there's a balance with that. Even though the masses or the majority have been cruel, there are some that have not been. There are actually some that have actually helped. So what it does is actually creates a situation to where that's not all. Like us, we hate, as black people, being called nigger to the degrees to where low down, dirty person, lazy, not doing anything, don't want anything, all drug sellers, abusers, and things of that nature, right? So we can't force this hate upon people, because guess what we do? We begin to hate them. We begin to act like they are. If you don't teach the balance, and I'm talking to you people who are claiming to be sovereign, you brothers who are claiming to be Moors, when you teach this hate without a balance, when you teach this hate without the definition of the science, which is remedy, it's remedy. How can we come to an agreement without it being chaos? But see, when you teach nothing but power, guess what you do? You're fighting power with power instead of being reasonable. And you sending people off to get killed. Because somebody who has never known power, that is being taught hate, that now finds out that they have power, will fight you with power and not reasoning. I remember a sign in school when I was in first grade in Lewis Pasture, right down the street. And I'll never forget it. The teachers were looking at me like I was aggressive and a bully. And it was a sign in the principal's office, and it said brains over brawn. And this is what we need to do. We need to educate yourself. The whole demonstration about sovereignty, the whole demonstration about being a Moor is science. It's about education. It's not about being able to force yourself into a situation. If they have power and you have power and you trying to show that you have power with people who have power, what do you want to do? That's war. That's a battle. That's not reasonable. That's not the remedy. That's not looking for an agreement or a way that we can come to an understanding without there being a battle. Like the girl, Corin Gates. I listen to the people teach, and I listen to some of the people, and I communicate with a lot of them, and we learn different situations. We learn about the power that we have as a people, and I agree with that. We are powerful as a people when we come together. Like, this is why I established the group Collective Minds LLC. Powerful as a people, coming together with the same line of thought, the same actions, the same reasoning, even though we may have different aims. You see what I'm saying? We all going to the same place. Leon Bay says that's why Moors are supposed to study the Quran for character building purposes. Our Quran speaks on power and what it is not, and how it's used and how it is not. That's correct. The Bible does the same demonstration. No matter what line of reasoning you go through as a sovereign, no matter what line of reasoning you go through as a Christian, as a Moor, guess what? There are rules and regulations to abide by, and to just impose power upon power is chaotic. The degree and the Quran and the Bible also says this. It says, an answer when mild turns away rage. So when you get to talking about, hey, what up, boo? When you get to talking about power and what it is that you do, and these people do not give you the remedy about what's going on, guess what you do? Understand that this is still their system. Moors, sovereign. Actually, 13 set on the signing and the initiation of the Constitution for the United States of America. I know this. But does that mean that you should just violate the codes and statutes because you can? And a lot of us do this because your teachers are teaching you power. Your teachers are teaching you, you can do what you want to do. They can't do this, so forget them. And then you go out and you in jail. You go out, you driving with no license, with no license plates. Let me get that correct. You drive with no license plates. You're driving with no lights. You talking crazy to them when they cut purpose. You going through a demonstration where you're trying to impose power to power, and you trying to show somebody actually that has more power than you what power is. You gonna die. This girl Corinne Gates, I don't care. You have some crazy sisters out here. I done dealt with some crazy sisters. For real, for real. And I say that to say this. She could have been just this type of person. But guess what else? She's been taught that she has power. She's been taught that she cannot be stopped. She's been taught what she can do. She's been taught. It's been drilled in her ability to possess a power that another people cannot possess over her. They cannot take this from you unless, but guess what that does not mean? To go and create situations to bring them to you. You want to be gangster in real life? Guess what? I studied gangsters too. I was a gangster in real life. And guess what they do? They keep heat away from the outfit because the outfit in war, in battle, does not allow them to make money. It does not allow the goal to be met. It does not allow the dreams to be made because guess what? You got heat on you now. You always in conflict. You always beefing. You always battling. The aim of being a sovereign, the aim of being a Moor is guess what? It's to stay out of the court systems on your own will. So the demonstration is people can impose things upon you. I've had things imposed upon me. Things that I did not do on my own. And guess what? I fight them from that perspective. However, if it is up to you, your aim and the remedy is to navigate through the system peacefully. It's to navigate through the system without creating chaos. It's to navigate through the system without going through all of that. So because I can, because it is in the Black's Law Dictionary, because according to the Constitution for the United States of America, should I ride around without a license plate? Should I ride around with no headlights? When they stop me for whatever reason, do I need to really argue with them? Or should I hand them my identification that substantiates who I am? I didn't say license. But should I hand them my identification to explain to them who I am and go through the proper procedure instead of arguing with somebody 9 times out of 10 that don't even know what you're talking about? This thing is to be peaceful. Sovereignty. You want to talk about sovereignty? Okay, let's talk about the supreme sovereignty of them all, which is the Most High God. Are you dead for the sins that you have committed? Are you dead for the wrongs that you have done? Are you dead for the codes that you have violated and broken? No, okay. You haven't. So why you cussing this cop out when he stopped you instead of taking him through the proper procedures and asking certain situations? Having your paperwork proper. You see what I'm saying? So they'll understand what it is that they need to do and who it is that they need to talk to possibly release you. To where you can defeat this before you even have to really step into a courtroom and not end up dead. So see, I'm talking to y'all right now because I done communicated with a lot of y'all. What we do is we become them. We have become what we say we hate because we have turned things. See, a nigga is a low down dirty person. You a conniving, deceitful individual. That's what a nigger is. And guess what? I love people, but I hate niggas of all colors, of all races. You see what I'm saying? Because they come in all shapes, sizes, colors, creeds, and nationalities. You see what I'm saying? So the demonstration is we are becoming them. Because guess what we do? They're greedy. They allow products to be made that they know cause cancer and kills people, takes husbands, wives, daughters, mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers away from their loved ones. Through greed, they allow this to happen. And guess what some of you claim to be? And this is why I talk about the pretend. The pretend to be sovereigns, the pretend to be Moors. Guess what some of you do? You lead people astray with the information. You lead people on with the information that's killing them. Greedily. You know a little bit. You don't even know. You know a little bit in the KNOW/NO. No, not what it is that you're talking about. And you pass this off for thousands of dollars to lead somebody astray just to get your thousands of dollars, which going to get them killed, just like the cancer does that the government allows certain companies to make certain products with. That's taking people away from their loved ones. That's keeping people killed in front of their children. That's getting people killed in front of their neighborhoods. That's sending people to prison with gags on where they can't even speak and talk because they listening to you. From the Quranic standpoint or the biblical standpoint, guess what it says? It says, man, that the blind cannot lead the blind. You leading somebody into a pit. And in your conscience, in your heart to obtain things, stuff, you lying and you killing people. So you have become the slave master. The whole demonstration about sovereignty and morals is about being free. Are you teaching to be free or are you instilling slavery in a slave? Are you imposing a situation where you are actually subconsciously and deceitfully, pimpishly becoming a master to who you listening to you? Who giving up their lives? You see what I'm saying? Who giving up their children? Who's giving up all their finances to be governed by you? Another form of government that you preach against. So see, I had to talk about this more because it's bothering me. You want to know who I am? Look me up through the Secretary of State. See what I'm saying? So I'm not just hitting here talking, run off at the mouth. I done dealt with a lot of y'all. I done sat with a lot of y'all. I done communicated with a lot of y'all. And I see what a lot of you do. And it's terrible that you doing this to the people. And I want the people to understand that, man, it's real. But it's not to impose your power upon somebody who has more power than you. It's to come to an understanding, a reasoning, reasonable understanding to where we can come to an agreement together. It's not to, you want power? The people who created the system, right? They drop bombs on countries. Are you familiar with Hiroshima, Nagasaki? Are you familiar with Hitler's atrocities? Are you familiar with the bomb on Black Wall Street? Are you familiar with the bomb in Boston? Are you familiar with, I'm going to keep it all the way trill with you. I was in jail when this happened. But because it happened, we went on martial law in prison. A lot of y'all don't know that. That whenever there's a war in the states or in the cities, when you're in a maximum security prison and up, they can come through and exterminate you like rats and roaches. So a lot of people didn't know. They looking what's going on. A lot of people on the yard, a lot of people doing a lot of stuff. Guess what I'm looking at? I watched the second plane crash. I saw us go on martial law in a joint until they got it controlled. But do you understand what I'm saying? When the planes crashed in the towers, Abraham Lincoln, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Huey P. Newton. Did you hear me say Abraham Lincoln? Guess what I'm about to say? Kennedy. Do you believe that Ronald Reagan actually caught Alzheimer's right after he got caught to where he could expose some things of the government? No. So what I'm trying to explain to you is that how you going to impose power upon somebody without the rules? How am I going to just not come to a reasonable understanding with you, which is what sovereignty and Moor is about? And impose power upon people who drop bombs on countries who will kill their own so that the real would not be exposed. How you going to, explain that to me? Give me that understanding. So before you listen to somebody get to talking about how powerful you are, guess what? You powerful. People want to stop at Egypt. I'm going way before Egypt. I'm beyond the pyramids. You see what I'm saying? I'm beyond the science. I'm going to the sciences that actually allowed the pyramids to be established and created and made. You know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. People stop at Egypt. I don't. See, I study for real. I do science for real. You see, do I know it all? No. Guess what? And the more I know, guess what I find out? Man, I don't know nothing. In real life. So I'm not stopping at the pyramids. I'm going way before the pyramids to the science. You know what I mean? And the demonstration is this, man. This is about remedy. This is about, can we come to an understanding? Can we come to reasoning? Can we get together and get to an order and a degree to where we don't have to go through what we're going? See, you powerful. But how you going? I don't care what paperwork you do, what contracts you take back. I don't care what contracts you establish. When it comes to exposing what it is that they're trying to do to degrees and not live. This demonstration is 10 people out here. Whatever the demonstration is, the rollers roll up on us, all right? Guess what the demonstration is? Because you are correct. Because your contracts are in order. Because you proper. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to deal with you differently in how they deal with them. Everybody might get an indictment. You might not. Everybody might end up in court. You might not. You might go to court and yours might get dismissed. Whatever the demonstration is. But this ain't to create beef and power with them. Marcus Garvey did create power. He beef with them. I'm going to kill y'all. I'm going to drop. Y'all created an atom bomb. I'm going to create that. That ain't what it's about. And some of y'all out here, you know what I'm saying? For real, you sending brothers and sisters out here to die. And I'm going to bring this up to play. Elijah Muhammad, peace be upon him, talking Malcolm X, hate for oppressor. I hate the oppressor. I hate the oppressor. And he came up, he became powerful, hating the oppressor until he went and found out, guess what, the science. That a lot of us are oppressors. Even those of us who teach oppression of the opposite are actually oppressors. Because now you are oppressing the mental state for me to go beyond what I'm supposed to do as a man, to learn for myself. You put me in a box. See, a lot of times I tell people, man, you got to step outside the box. Guess what? I don't have one. You want to talk about boxes? My boxes is the diameter of the universe. Measure it. That's my thought process. This is why I'm an outcast to so many people. Because I don't have a box. I think for myself. You tell me something with a degree or a Moor or a sovereign, all your paperwork, I'm going to research it myself to find out if what you are telling me is actually so. And this is what a lot of us don't do. And a lot of you know this same thing. So you taking these people money doing this paperwork. You taking these people money being in your situation. You a lot of you for real is taking these people up under you and you putting them under your trust and they don't know it. You deceitful as the person that you teaching them to be aggressive against. And you sending them out here to get killed with this power. Yes, our traffic stops, crimes, according to Black's Law Dictionary, traffic stops can never be instituted as a crime because why is you riding around with no headlights and you know you don't have no headlights? A lot of these brothers who are sending you out here with this information, black and white, sending you out here with this information, talking to, guess what? They sending you out as guinea pigs. They don't even know it. They sending you out to try what they think may happen, what they hope will take place if you do it. And guess what? It might take place differently with 5 people do the exact same thing. Only one may not work on. The other 4 might go through a whole different another process. But the demonstration is you need to research this. Not like I told you when I read a book, I keep talking about the movie or the book Brainwash that we read in my organization, Collective Minds LLC. And there we talk about cultural awareness, economics, and empowerment. You know, whole process, all of it is based on education. So the demonstration, you need to know what you're talking about. You don't need to just take somebody's word for what it is that they're saying because they quote unquote have a degree, because they quote unquote had their paperwork done for sovereignty, because they quote unquote had their paperwork done for being a Moor. Yeah, my brother say that some people will seek attention at all costs, and that is correct. And I agree with that. But right now, what I'm talking about, man, is the teachers. I'm talking about these teachers, and the same thing applies to them. But I want you to get the understanding, man, of how important is it for you to obtain attention through the death of somebody else, another human being. You taking somebody's mother, son, daughter, father, grandmother, grandfather away from their loved ones to get a couple of dollars for attention. And then you're going to say, yeah, sorry for the sister. What? We had a right to bear arms. You do. But should you just walk around and create situations because you can? Because you feel that you know your rights, inalienable rights? Do you feel that you can do what you want to do because guess you know the rules and regulations? Guess what? Guess what the demonstration is? Some of your actions can actually take away your inalienable rights. You give them up when you perform certain tactics. And see, they're not teaching you this. This is why I'm telling you, you need to go study all. You need to do your own science. See, like you study and watch Atlanta Housewives. Like you watch, you know what I'm saying, sports. You need to be in this, studying this about your life. You know what I mean? How you watch that TV. How you can sit here and tell me about Bernie Kosar when he was 9 years old, how they was looking at him since he was 6. You can tell me about Brian Sipe. You can tell me about the dude who was fighting the dogs. Y'all sit here and tell me all about Ray Lewis, LeBron James. And then you just go pay attention to anything somebody else say to go out here and lose your life. But you done studied somebody that had nothing to do with you. You'll watch a sport and don't even bet. So that means that you actually have no stake in what's going on, but you'll tell me about a sports star's life. Again, I'm getting at these teachers. You ought to be ashamed of yourself for teaching. I mean, but some of y'all like pimps, though. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all like preachers. Y'all pimps from the pulpit. Y'all pimps from behind the desk and behind the computer computing, telling people what they need to do, and you don't even know. You wrong. When I was studying theology, man, you see how many people that I was in there actually understood that what they were saying was a lie, but was going to teach it anyway so they can get the certificate, so they can get those tenths, those tithes, so they can get free money. Actually creating religions, forms of churches, so they can get the millions at the expense of somebody else's lives. Guess what, man? A lot of us are sheep until we become what? The strongest sheep. Still learning, but fighting our way to protection. Study sheep. Study the strength of sheep. That's why I said that. This is, again, something that you won't have to go look up. A lot of people understand sheep are actually defenseless. And I say we are all sheep because sheep are learning. Sheep are all looking for a shepherd. They're looking for somebody to follow, somebody to lead them. But when a wolf comes, do you understand that the protection that the sheep have is the strongest sheep? And what he does is fights his way to the middle of the herd so he can't be eaten. Look it up. So again, you brothers, sovereign, black, white, you Moors, black, white, whatever you claim to be, whatever the demonstration is, I want you to really thinking about how you are actually sending us brothers out here to die. You sending your sisters out here to die. You sending them out here to lose their homes. You sending them out here to go to prison for following rules and regulations that you don't even know what you're talking about yourself. You sending people out here just like the government that you say you hate. You are becoming a part of it. A lot of y'all agents, for real, working for them to lead people in the wrong direction on purpose so they cannot be correct. And I want you to think about this, man. You are worse, actually, than they are. See, because they ain't gonna lie to you. They drop bombs, they fight wars, civil war. They creating chaos and drama for the entire world. They know everywhere they go, they kill and destroy. See, kill and destroy, whatever it is that they want. You are pretending to be a friend, though. You are pretending to be a brother. You are pretending to, I love you. So we all got to stick together and we got to. What, you helping them with population control? I have an organization called Collective Minds LLC, where I'm actually motivational, inspirational speaker on multiple things. I am an entrepreneur and life coach. Teach business, contracts, the whole nine, cultural awareness and empowerment. But I don't teach hate. I teach hate of an attribute or attributes. I teach hate of characters, not of a people. And with that hate of those characters and those attributes, what I show in that is the remedy on how to get past that. I'm not saying I teach sovereignty. I'm not saying I teach to be a Moor. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about in real life what I deal with. And what I'm saying is what I don't do is when I'm teaching somebody about I hate slavery. But guess what I'm teaching? I'm teaching the remedy of it. Guess what the remedy is? For real, part of the remedy is to understand that you can't put everybody in the same box. Guess what? Peep this. There have been slave ships overturned by the Africans and the slaves that were on the ships. One, because each slave from different tribes, even though they spoke different languages, they learned one another's language. Guess who helped them learn the language? Some of those white men that was on them ships. When some of these slave ships got to this place called America, guess what attorneys helped some of them win their cases to get freed and sent back home? Some white men. Guess what happened with some of us who taught the Underground Railroad, and some of the white people got done worse than we got done. Guess why? Because they helped us. Oh man, Your own people, how can you defy us? That's blasphemy what you have done to us. Treason even. So some of them white people and their whole families got done worse than some of the slaves that they were saving. Without some of them, there would not have been a revolution. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to put everybody in the box. I'm not going to teach hate of a culture, hate of a people. I'm going to teach hate of character attributes. I'm going to teach hate of character traits, which guess what? Can be traveled and traversed through every culture, through every form of people. You see what I'm saying? And I'm going to teach the remedy to be peaceful. I believe in the Bible. I believe also in many, many passages in the Quran which substantiates that an answer when mild turns away rage. And guess what you do not do? You do not go out to create chaos and think and feel as if because who you are, you just going to get away with it. So I really had to say that today. I really had to speak on this to the degrees to where some of you brothers are sending your own people out here as guinea pigs to actually die because you want a couple of dollars, man. I seen and heard people doing this paperwork for bands, 1,500, 6 bands, 50. One seminar, 5 bands to sit in as a seminar with multiple people coming in here. The Moor's brothers talking, going and learning the science in order to manipulate it, just like the slave master manipulated the Bible to attack and bring and capture and keep his slaves conquered. You learning the science to do the same thing to your brothers, and then I look at you. This is why I look at you like I look at you. This is why everywhere I go, I'm by myself, because I don't like you. I don't like you not because you black. I don't like you because I have discernment, so I see through what it is that you're doing, and I duck you on purpose. So many of y'all out here doing that, man. And it's a shame that you're a small government. I don't mean a good thing. I mean, you're a small government that this whole thing is about freedom. To be sovereign is about freedom. To be sovereign is to be a Moor is about freedom. And what you're actually doing is enslaving people with your information. You captivate them with the power that they can obtain. Some of you really don't know that you shouldn't do what you do. But some of you actually know that you are imposing so much power upon the people that's actually not ready for it. And guess what you do when you learn something? I don't care what it is you learn, you want to go tell somebody else. Guess what else you want to do? You want to prove that what you know works. So now you're talking crazy to this cop that stopped you because you ain't got no lights on. So what is not an infraction that you can be arrested on? But why are you doing it? $5, $10 to get your lights fixed. Now it's about to cost you a few hundred. You know what I'm saying? Or your life to show how powerful you are. And or even if you beat it through the proper procedures, it took up how much of your time? So are you really being smart? Are you really being led correctly to do what it is that you should do to the best of your ability? Pay attention to who you're learning from, because guess what? Some people are leading you down a hole, and it ain't the rabbit hole to Alice in Wonderland. They're leading you into the same pit that they headed themselves into. Or guess what? They gonna jump over and let you, not gonna tell you to jump. They gonna let you fall in and watch and sit back. And guess what? So many times I've heard to when the people have paid attention to somebody and it was time to communicate with them, guess what? You don't even hear from them no more. So look out for the new slave master that's pretending to be your friend, teaching you empowerment and encouragement, motivating you and inspiring you to die. Motivating you and inspiring you to actually lose everything it is that you have. That's what they're doing on many, many accounts. So look, I'm getting ready to get out of here with that. And I want y'all to really look up what it is that somebody is teaching you. Don't always call somebody else to ask them a question. Look it up. You got a computer? Your cell phone is a computer now. Look up House Joint Resolutions. Look up what they telling you. And look it up, see it. And if you don't understand, you can communicate with somebody to get an understanding of it. But don't just listen to what people tell you that are actually trying to trick you and motivate you into doing the very thing that they say they're trying to teach you to run from. Y'all be easy, Mo better. I had to shoot that out there to the assassins, to the new masters. Y'all be easy.